So Coinbase is about to IPO and there's a lot of hype around it. And to be honest, I think the hype is quite justified. Cryptocurrency has been a huge mover over the last 24 months, and to be honest, there's not that many legitimate cryptocurrency companies listed on any exchange. Coinbase will be one of the biggest IPOs for a hell of a long time, in fact, rivaling that of when Facebook IPO'd in terms of valuation. Now, the IPO videos I've done lately have been very popular, and I know for sure Coinbase is going to be one of the biggest IPOs, not just this year, but probably in the last 5 years. And a lot of you sat in the comfort of your homes are probably thinking, should I just YOLO and buy Coinbase on its IPO day? Well, I'm here to give you the pros and the cons and what I am going to do with Coinbase, because believe it or not, I'm actually bullish on this, even maybe on its IPO day. And the only way to find out if Coinbase is actually worth investing in itself is to make a very large hole in one of your pockets, preferably the left-hand pocket of your trousers. Put your hand right deep inside there, give yourself a big fondle, because that's right, Coinbase is about to get an STI. So we're back by popular demand with another STI on an IPO, and Coinbase is for sure the one that is on everybody's lips. This company is gonna be IPOing above $100 billion US. And to put that into proportion, that's double Airbnb. And when Facebook IPO'd, which is for sure a bigger name, that was valued at $104 billion. And I do think Airbnb, as the date comes closer, will be way over $104 billion. So it could be a bigger IPO than Facebook, which is crazy, but this isn't an IPO. I know some keyboard warriors are going to be getting triggered already, so I just want to be clear, this is a direct listen, and I'll come onto that in just a second. But please note that this video is for entertainment purposes. It is not classed in any way, shape, or form as financial advice. You should do your own due diligence when it comes to making any investment decision. And one further disclaimer, I am definitely not the best person to talk to when it comes to cryptocurrency. In fact, I only ever bought and sold 2 cryptos in my whole life, so please take this with a pinch of salt. I am going purely on Coinbase's IPO in stock form. I don't really care about cryptocurrency too much personally. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing and turning on the bell, and do me the kindest of kind favors. Please help me out by just making sure that like button is turned blue. It does help me out a lot and it is much appreciated. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link down in the description where you can get some exclusive perks, including our WhatsApp group, where you can message me and prank call me at 2 a.m. in the morning. If you're looking at investing in general, try eTORO on the pinned comment, sign up, deposit, make one simple trade, and you get free lifetime access to the LWT investing chat room. Absolutely free, saving you a little bit of dollar money. Now, it's no secret cryptocurrency has been going absolutely nuts over the last couple of years. In fact, Bitcoin is arguably bigger than gold right now as far in terms of safe havens. People have been looking for the next cryptocurrency and the hype is real. People every single day are getting more and more into this asset class, and there's not that many safe places to actually trade it. Coinbase is actually the biggest US cryptocurrency trader, and it's one of the biggest in the world. The only one to my knowledge that is actually bigger in terms of value is Binance, and we'll definitely be doing a video on that at some point in the future. Coinbase was founded in 2012, so it's been around pretty much since the beginning of the whole cryptocurrency, boom generation, whatever you want to call it. So it's definitely one of the original gangsters from that period. From my understanding as well, it has a great product and charges a hell of a lot in fees, more so than its competitors, but people do love the system. And as we know from things like Apple, if it's a good product, people will pay it no matter the odds. So Coinbase has actually cornered that sector of the market, providing a good product at a good price, and that generates a hell of a lot of profits. In fact, it's very rare these days we get an IPO from a profitable company. That's right, Coinbase is coming out as a profitable company on this direct listing. I need to stop saying IPO, and I apologize. But think about it, how many companies lately in the last 2 years have been listed on any market as a profitable company? We just need to look at the EV sector, and pretty much every company that's listed is not profitable, and we can even go as far as looking at companies like Airbnb, which had damaged profits. And if you want to go one step crazier, let's not even mention Space, Virgin Galactic stock. So Coinbase is going to be listed as a profitable company, a very profitable company on that fact. It actually has 2 million active users, and what that means is users that come and visit the platform and make a trade every month. So they're actively buying and selling. That's 2 million people giving them fees every single month. Some so probably every single day. They also have 43 million identity verified users. That means people that are not bots, that means people that actually have a profile picture and have took the time to legitimately verify their accounts. And that's a hell of a big number. Now, as I mentioned, they are going the direct listing route rather than your traditional IPO. And I'll come on to why that's very, very important when it comes to investing into any company that's recently getting listed. There's various ways to become a public company. You can go for a SPAC stock, which is basically a company merger from an already existing dormant company. You can go on an initial public offering, which is where you sell market shares at the market on a said day and raise capital that way. For example, if you look at Airbnb, I believe they IPO'd, if they're looking at selling 1 million shares at $1, then they make $1 million. That's pretty much what an IPO is in a nutshell. Making it very, very simple here. But a direct listing is very, very different, and I'll come on to the pros and the cons in just a second. But I want to talk a little bit about Coinbase. In fact, it's a very unique situation for me because I really like the idea of the company being listed. In fact, they're one of the first big players to be listed, and I think they can really dominate and grow their market share. But as you know, if you're in the chat room, I really don't buy IPOs. So here's a little secret. I've actually been trying my heart out to invest pre-IPO. I've offered all the way up to $90,000 to get into this company as an IPO. And unfortunately, I couldn't get in. There was just no availability and no one was willing to sell at any price. And I wasn't really willing to go up to the $225,000, which was the only sort of offer return I got back. So I had to walk away from that one. But that in itself should give you some insight on how bullish I am on this company. That said, when it does initially get listed, I do not think I will buy it on that day because of the direct listing. Now, what is a direct listing? Well, like I said, an IPO and a direct listing are two very, very different aspects. An IPO is where you sell shares at the market to you and me, and that's how you raise the capital. A direct listing is very, very different and could be a hell of a lot more dangerous. Now, apologies to any of you more experienced investors who know the difference between an IPO and a direct listing, but for those who don't, a direct listing is where you basically already have your shareholders, people like what I was trying to do, insiders, people who work in the company, or people who've already pre-invested in the company. There's already that share pot raised, and then they get put on the market for people to sell freely. So in other words, there are no new shares available on the day they get listed, which could be a pro, but also could be a con. Now, the reason where it could be a pro is because supply and demand. People can, inside the company, can drive the price as high as they want to if they all just hold the line with that diamond hands and start singing Ape Kumbaya, and the stock could literally go to the moon if they refuse to sell. But that's also the con. What if they all sell? What if they all decide, holy crap, I haven't had a bonus this year and I'm thinking about cashing in my chips? That could drive the stock price to the floor. And I think that's what an idyllic, logical investor would do. They'd wait for that floor moment to happen, because I think it could happen, but it could equally go to the moon. Now, on a direct listing, that's the biggest problem. There's no lockup period. When you go the IPO route, your existing shareholder, your CEO, your CFO, every insider who's bought shares has a lockup period where they can't sell. And it's usually a couple of months, sometimes even longer, where they can't sell. So the downward pressure of the stock price is not really there. It's only up to the market to decide the new shares that are getting issued. But with a direct listing, they can sell day one, hour one, minute one, second one when they're listed. They could put in a market order, sell, and then cash out, chips in. And the downside of that is the retail investor, me and you, who are looking at buying their IPO day, well, we could be heading for a hell of a pain train. Because let me tell you, majority of these people who have a hell of a lot of shares won't be selling in 100, 200 share bundles. They'll be selling in their tens of hundreds of thousands. So just be very, very careful on this one. Be careful as well when you chase it, because it doesn't mean they're going to sell at the open. They could sell day 2, 3, 4, month 1, month 2. We genuinely don't know. And that is the worry with a direct listing. But on the bullish case, it's also a positive, because if they don't sell, like I said, diamond hands, YOLO, rocket, moon, all the other meme stock stuff. My final thoughts on Coinbase as a listing. As a stock, am I buying it? What am I looking for? Well, in full disclosure, I am actually trying to get in pre-IPO. or pre-direct listing. Again, need to stop saying IPO. But I will not be buying on the listing day because it's just too much of a coin toss for me. My praying to the gods of cryptocurrency would be that it comes all the way down, a decent 20-30% drop, and I will then start to scale in. I think Coinbase has a great opportunity to capitalize on the markets. Again, they're one of the biggest players in there, and the hype is genuinely real. And this stock could literally open and go to the moon. I'm fully aware of that, but I don't buy the tops of charts. I buy value and I buy bottoms. So the big bullish reasons for this stock is it's in a hot sector, cryptocurrency. It's a blue chip company when it IPOs, in my opinion. It's also very, very profitable in terms of IPOs and direct listings themselves because most of them are not profitable these days. So they have three very, very bullish factors. But the biggest bullish factor is the hype market. We're in a market where people can just manipulate GameStop to the upside and to the downside, it seems. So we are in a market where people will just YOLO whatever name they understand and know. And I think that will genuinely happen. But the pain train could come and teach the same people that have got hurt on GameStop the very same lesson. Big money will always win in the stock market, no matter how much you group together. Now, the only real negative or bearish case for Coinbase, other than the direct listing, would be regulation. Now, Coinbase spend millions upon millions a year to make sure they are regulated, make sure their users are verified, and there's no shady terrorism money being laundered through Bitcoin. But that said, I have said for a long time with cryptocurrency, and if we look at Ripple's a good example of that, there is just a matter of time before certain governments put a certain foot down and say they're not going to tolerate this anymore and put some form of regulation verification into these type of platforms. If they want to operate in the US, for example, all your users need to be identified and you need to give us this database. And if you don't think that's even possible, just look up FATCA, the Foreign Compliance Tax Act. Basically, going back a couple of years ago, America just came out and said to all the financial institutions, we want all the data on our American citizens who are living abroad and have money abroad. And the banks who went, well, we can't really just give you this information. The US just went, hey, that's fine. Well, we're going to hyper tax you on all your assets in the US if you don't give out this information. Guess what the financial institutions went? Thank you, there you go, there's our clients. Because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game, all right? And you might have noticed recently, for example, with Brexit, being a British man in Europe, I had bank accounts closed because they don't want to take the risk of the UK FATCA. I've also got friends here who are American who've had their bank accounts closed because of FATCA. So things like that, don't ever say never. Now, I might be completely speculating here, but I do think at some point in the future, governments will realize that the dollar is getting weaker and people are moving to cryptocurrency and they're losing their power. So they will try to make it harder. And that's my opinion, of course, and I'd love to know your thoughts on cryptocurrency, but more importantly on Coinbase down in the comments. Just tell me if you're bullish or bearish. That's all I need to know. And in fact, that's actually the code word. You can pick one, bullish or bearish. So that's the code word for this video. Please make sure you have subscribed and turn on the bell. Thanks very much for double checking that like button's turned blue. If you haven't done so already, I'm watching you. Check out eToro on the pinned comment. That's it from me. Take care. Peace.